Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to really get into the details, especially on tech that's maybe new or complex. Today, it's all about Microsoft Teams direct routing, a truly essential topic. And if you're a new engineer, maybe just starting on a unified communications support team, think of this as, well, your shortcut to getting up to speed fast on a really core part of the job. Because Teams calling, the growth is just huge, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are pretty wild.
Like over 650 million calls back in October. That's up, 11 times from March 2020? Just incredible.
Yeah.
And for direct routing itself, the call minutes jump eightfold and 4 times as many orgs using it. So you can see why understanding this isn't just helpful. It's basically essential if you're supporting Teams Phone.
It really is. And, it's interesting because direct routing, it's not just another way to connect. For many organizations, it's really foundational, especially if they have significant, existing on-prem phone systems, big investments there.
Right, legacy stuff they don't want to just throw away.
Exactly. Direct routing lets them bridge that gap, connect that existing infrastructure, sometimes decades old, right into Microsoft Teams Phone. It's a really practical way to move towards the cloud without ditching everything.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's unpack that connection. What is direct routing at its core?
Okay, so fundamentally, it's the method Microsoft provides to link your own on-premises telephony gear, like your PBX or your connection to your service provider, directly to Microsoft Teams Phone.
And the key piece of hardware in the middle is?
The Session Border Controller. The SBC, that's the linchpin.
Right, the SBC.
And critically, it has to be a supported SBC. Microsoft has a list of certified devices.
Certified. Okay, why is that so important?
Well, think of the SBC as the translator, the security guard between your internal phone network and the Microsoft cloud. It handles signaling, media, security. If it's not certified, Microsoft can't guarantee it will work correctly or reliably or securely with Teams Phone.
So no support if it's not certified.
Pretty much. Microsoft requires it for support. And actually, here's a tip for you, especially if you're new. Microsoft really recommends making sure that SBC is configured correctly by the vendor before you even start the Teams setup.
So get the foundation solid first.
Exactly. Saves a ton of potential headaches later on. Get the vendor best practices applied from the start.
That sounds like very solid advice. Avoids finger pointing later, too, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. If the SBC isn't set up right according to the vendor and you have issues, well, Microsoft support might just point you back to the SBC vendor anyway.
Got it. So, assuming you have that certified, properly configured SBC ready to go, what are the main steps in Teams to get direct routing working?
Microsoft lays it out pretty clearly in their documentation, which, by the way, should be your best friend.
Always the docs.
Always. So, step 1 is connecting that SBC to Teams Phone, and then validating that connection works, making sure they can talk to each other.
Okay, establish the link.
Step 2, enable your users. You need to turn on direct routing for them, assign phone numbers, enable voice features, voicemail, all that.
Makes sense. Users need the service.
Step 3 is configuring call routing. How do calls actually flow? Where do incoming calls go? How do outgoing calls get routed through the SBC?
The logic, basically.
Exactly. Right? And then step 4, sometimes you need to translate phone numbers into a different format, maybe for internal extension dialing or to match what your carrier expects.
Okay, connect, enable users, set up routing, and handle number translation. Seems logical.
It is, but one thing for new engineers to be aware of, a lot of this configuration, especially the finer points, often involve using PowerShell.
The command line, not just clicking buttons in the admin center then.
Not always, no.
Right.
PowerShell gives you much more granular control and allows for scripting and automation. So getting comfortable with those Teams PowerShell CMDlets is, well, pretty important for managing direct routing effectively. It might seem daunting at first, but it's powerful.
Good heads up. Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting for understanding the whole picture. Direct routing is powerful, yes, but it's not the only game in town for Teams PSTN connectivity, is it?
Not at all. That's a crucial point. You've got options.
Right. So besides direct routing, there are also Microsoft Teams calling plans.
Correct. Calling plans are sort of the all-in-one, fully cloud solution from Microsoft directly.
Meaning no on-prem stuff needed at all.
Exactly. No SBCs, no existing phone lines required. Microsoft becomes your phone company, essentially. You get phone numbers directly from Microsoft through the Teams Admin Center, assign them to users, and you're good to go.
Super simple then.
Very simple, quick to deploy. It's great for organizations that maybe don't have complex needs or existing infrastructure or just want that pure cloud experience, and they've expanded it quite a bit, available in 26 markets now, I think.
Okay. So calling plans for pure cloud simplicity. Then there's direct routing for connecting your own gear. What's the third option? You mentioned Operator Connect.
Yes, Operator Connect. This one's newer, and it's kind of a hybrid approach, but operator managed.
And operator managed. What does that mean in practice?
It means you can bring your preferred existing telecom operator, the company you already have a contract with, into the Teams calling fold.
Ah, so you keep your existing carrier relationship.
Precisely. That's a huge benefit for many companies. They like their carrier, maybe have good rates or specific services.
Okay, I can see the appeal there. What else?
Well, deployment is simple and fast, again, mostly through the Teams admin center. You connect to your chosen operator, assign numbers. It's designed so you don't need deep voice expertise.
Easier than direct routing setup, maybe.
Generally, yes, because the operator handles a lot of the complexity. The infrastructure, including the SBCs, is managed by the operator, so you save on buying and managing that hardware yourself.
Okay, less hardware, less management. Sounds good.
And you typically get strong support and reliability. The operators provide tech support, there are shared SLAs, and the connection uses direct peering with Microsoft Azure, which means, optimized performance.
So how do you find these operators?
They're listed right in the Teams Admin Center under an operators tab. You can see who's qualified. Initially, it was partners like BT, Deutsche Telekom, Verizon, Tata, Rogers, lots of the big names.
So lots of choices emerging there. It feels like Operator Connect kind of bridges the gap for companies that want cloud management but need carrier integration.
That's a good way to put it. It offers simplicity but leverages existing relationships and infrastructure managed by the experts.
But just playing devil's advocate, where might direct routing still win out? If Operator Connect is simpler and uses carriers I might already like.
Good question. Direct routing still offers the absolute maximum flexibility and control. If you have really complex needs, maybe very specific legacy integrations, or you want total control over your SBC configuration and call routing logic, maybe for intricate contact center setups.
Or maybe really specific security or compliance requirements.
Exactly. Things that require you to manage the SBC directly yourself. Direct routing gives you that granular control. Operator Connect abstracts a lot of that away, which is usually a plus, but not always if you have those very niche requirements.
Makes sense. Control versus simplicity.
And it's worth adding, Microsoft is still investing heavily in direct routing, too. They keep certifying new SBC vendors. I think 6 new ones just recently.
Shows commitment.
Yeah. And things like the Survivable Branch Appliance, the SBA, that's generally available now. That's a direct routing feature that adds resilience. If your branch office loses its connection to the Microsoft cloud, the SBA can keep basic PSTN calls working locally.
Oh, that's huge for reliability, especially in branch sites. Like if the internet goes down, people can still make emergency calls.
Precisely. That kind of resilience is often critical.
Okay, so we've covered how calls get into Teams via these different routes. But now, let's talk about what happens next. Once a call arrives in the Microsoft Teams environment, how does it actually get directed? This seems super important for anyone in support.
Absolutely critical. This is where auto attendants and call queues come in. They are the heart of your internal call handling.
Let's start with auto attendants, virtual receptionists, right?
Exactly. Think of it as the automated system that answers the call and directs the caller based on their input or predefined rules. It can route calls immediately or based on menu options, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. Callers might be able to dial by name or extension too. Or maybe the call just gets an announcement and hangs up.
And where can an auto attendant send a call?
Lots of places. It can go to a designated operator, a real person, or to another specific person in your organization. It can route to another voice app, which usually means another auto attendant or a call queue.
Oh, so you can chain them together.
Yes, knitting is common. It can also go to a resource account, which is like the back-end identity for an AA or CQ, or to voicemail, maybe a shared one for a department, even to an external phone number, or just plain announcement.
Okay, quite flexible. And I remember reading something about business hours.
That's a key feature. Auto attendants let you define separate call flows for outside of business hours and also for specific holidays you define.
That's really useful, so you don't just send after-hours callers into a black hole.
Exactly. You can play a message, route to voicemail, whatever makes sense. One little nuance, though. A single auto attendant can only do one type of dialing directory, either dial by name or dial by extension.
Oh, really? So if you want both.
You need nested auto attendants. Like the first AA offers press 1 for directory, which goes to a second AA configured for dial by name, and maybe press 2 on the first AA goes to a third AA set up for dial by extension.
Got it. A little planning needed there. Okay, what about call queues?
Call queues are different. Their main job is to hold callers in line until someone, an agent, is available to take the call. Think, your call is important to us, please hold.
Standard queuing.
Right. But callers don't wait forever. There are conditions where a call will get redirected out of the queue.
Like what?
3 main ones. Call overflow if there are already too many people waiting, more than you've set as the limit. Call timeout if the caller waits longer than the maximum time you've configured. Or simply, no agents are available, maybe everyone's busy or logged out or hasn't opted into taking calls from that queue.
Okay, so safety valves to handle capacity and wait time.
Exactly. And when a call gets redirected out of a queue like that, it can go to similar places as an auto attendant can send calls.
Like another person or voicemail?
Yep. Person in the organization, another voice app like an AA or maybe a backup queue, a resource account, an external number, or voicemail personal or shared.
Right. It feels like mapping this all out would be essential.
Absolutely essential. For you, the new engineer, diagramming your organization's call flows is probably one of the most valuable things you can do early on. Your diagrams need to show which FAAs and CQs have direct phone numbers. Those need resource accounts, remember. You need to map out the business hours, off hours, and holiday routing for every auto attendant. And you need to know who the agents are, the members, for each call queue.
Without that map.
You're flying blind when troubleshooting. A call fails or goes to the wrong place. How do you even start figuring out why without knowing how it should have flowed? It's foundational.
Totally agree. Okay, let's pivot to some really practical advice now. Best practices, support gotchas. Things a new engineer absolutely needs to know to avoid common pitfalls.
Okay, yeah. Some best practices for call routing. First, look at your existing system, if you have one. What kinds of calls come in most often? That helps you structure your menus.
Makes sense. Don't bury the common stuff.
Right. Put the most frequent options first in your auto attendant menus. Makes it quicker for callers. And here's a big one, especially relevant for support. Try to avoid assigning a direct service phone number straight to a call queue unless that queue genuinely has 204/7 agent coverage.
Why is that? Oh, wait. Because call queues don't have the separate off-hours handling.
Exactly. Call queues don't have built-in business hours or holiday logic like auto attendants do. So if you point a number directly at a queue and no agents are signed in after hours, the caller might just sit there in silence or get disconnected abruptly.
Bad experience. So the better way is?
Assign the number to an auto attendant first. Then, during business hours, the AA routes the call to the call queue. Outside business hours, the AA handles it differently, plays a message, sends to voicemail, whatever.
Yeah, good tip.
Also, use auto attendants for simple FAQs. Record announcements for things like business hours or location. It can deflect a lot of basic calls.
Free up agents.
Yep. Keep menus short, 5 options, or fewer, ideally. People can't remember long lists. If you need more, use nested AAs. And describe the service before the number. For sales, press 1, not press 1 for sales. Sounds minor, but it's clearer for callers processing audio.
Little usability things matter.
They do. Use language callers understand. Avoid internal acronyms or jargon. And if you change menu options, definitely announce that change in the greeting for, say, the first month. Please note our menu options have recently changed.
Helps regular callers adjust. Okay. Really practical stuff. Now, a critical one for support, the boundaries. What exactly does Microsoft support when it comes to direct routing?
This is key. Microsoft officially supports Teams Phone with direct routing only when you are using certified SBCs and other certified devices like phones or headsets.
So if you have a problem,
your first call should be to your SBC vendor's support team. They are the experts on their device. They will work with you, and they will escalate to Microsoft if they suspect the issue is on the Teams side. Microsoft collaborates with the certified vendors through dedicated channels.
And if you're using a non-certified SBC?
Microsoft reserves the right to reject the support case. You're essentially unsupported by Microsoft for the direct routing connection itself. So step 1 in troubleshooting, confirm device certification, always.
That seems like a crucial first check for any support ticket involving direct routing. Okay, one more potential gotcha. Complex call flows. So sometimes calls just seem to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a hidden limit or something that catches people out?
Oh, there absolutely is. This one gets people all the time when they build really elaborate flows. There's a maximum number of transitions allowed for a single call.
Maximum. How many?
25. A single call can only make 25 hops or transitions between auto attendants and call queues before Teams will automatically disconnect it.
25. Wow. Okay, what counts as a transition?
Good question. Basically, anytime the call moves from one AA to another AA, or from an AA to a CQ, or from a CQ back to an AA, or even loops back within the same AA menu after playing an announcement, that's one transition.
So each handoff counts.
Each handoff, yeah. It's designed to prevent infinite loops that could bog down the system. But if you build a very deep nested structure, maybe with lots of return to previous menu options, you could actually hit that 25 limit without realizing it.
The symptom is just the call drops.
Yep. The call just disconnects. No error message to the caller, usually. It can be incredibly confusing to troubleshoot if you don't know about that limit. It's a definite aha moment when you figure it out.
That is a fantastic tip for diagnosing those really tricky dropped calls.
Yeah.
Definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. We've gone from the basics of direct routing, the SBC, the setup steps through the other PSTN options like calling plans and operator connect, deep into managing call flow with auto attendants and call queues, and covered those critical best practices and support boundaries, including that 25 transition limit.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it really covers the core knowledge you need. And my final thought for anyone new stepping into this space would be, knowledge is great, but it's most valuable when you actually understand it and can apply it. This field, you see it changes constantly. So keep learning, keep digging into the documentation, be proactive in your troubleshooting, having these fundamentals down like we talked about today. That's really your key to mastering Teams voice solutions. It's about understanding the why behind the how.
Excellent advice. Be curious, keep learning, and apply these principles. We really hope this deep dive helps you, the listener, feel more confident and effective as you support Microsoft Teams. Don't hesitate to check out those Microsoft Learn docs. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll catch you next time.